Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180 at home again this week, and enjoying a bit of a heat wave here in the UK. It's much cooler today. I am actually recording this on a Wednesday, which is unusual. But yesterday I was out filming and the temperature gauge in the car read 40 degrees at one point. It was super hot yesterday. But I am at home. I've got a few really cool things going to happen over the next couple of weeks. But for now, let's get through the Midweek 180. If you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. Now then, last week's leader of the pack was Michael Kember. Well done, sir. Joined in the Magnificent Seven by Paul Mead, Gary Matthews, Kevin DG7, Anthony Finch, Ed Moses and Francois G. So whoever puts the first comment this week, you'll be my leader of the pack next week. And the first 7 comments will be in my Magnificent Seven. Now, there is much to discuss this week. You know me, I am a bit of an F1 fan, so let's start there with the race from Spar at the weekend. Now, Spar is one of my favourite tracks to watch, probably helped by the fact I've driven it a lot on a sim, so I kind of know the circuit on a sim anyway. I've never driven it in real life. I must do that one day. But it's a great track. I think it always provides great racing, and it has, for me, probably the best corner in motorsport, Eau Rouge. If you can think of a better corner in motorsport, please put it in the comments below. But the qualifying was great to watch, and the race itself was one of those ones where, you know, there's lots of different strategies going on, some great racing, and George Russell crossed the line in first place. However, the celebrations didn't last very long because not that long after the race finished, his car was deemed to be underweight by only about 1.5 kilos, and he was disqualified from the race. The interesting thing though, with Spar, because it's such a big, long track, when they finish the race, normally in F1, they do a final lap, they come all the way round and then pull into Parc Fermé. And when they do that final round, you'll hear the engineers get them to go offline and pick up rubber. So where all of the marbles come off, the discarded bits of rubber, they pick up that rubber and it sticks to the tyres because the tyres are so hot and sticky. And it creates an extra layer, a new layer of rubber almost on the tyres, and that extra weight. And they do that just as a safeguard against making sure their car's not underweight. Well, at Spa, they don't do that. They come straight into Parc Fermé. And I actually said to Tracy at the time, I forgot they don't do the rubber pickup. Look how clean the tyres are. And I've read a couple of things since that say that maybe that's all he would have needed to do, you know. But it was a mistake by the team. So Russell disqualified. He took it with good grace. And Hamilton ended up getting the victory. But yeah, it's a shame for the last race of the first half of the season to end like that. But we're now into the summer recess, so no more racing for a few weeks. Boo. But there's still some news though. So Carlos Sainz has confirmed this week that he's on his way to Williams, because there were lots of different seats available to him ever since it was announced that Lewis was effectively taking his seat at Ferrari. So he's gone to Williams to partner up with Alex Albon. I think that's quite an interesting move. It's probably the best of what he had on offer. I don't believe that the Mercedes seat or the Red Bull seat were available to him. And actually, Red Bull this week have confirmed that Perez is staying for now. Even though he's not driving particularly well, they are still backing him. And I find that fascinating. Normally, Red Bull are far more, cut and thrust than that. They're far more ruthless. And I think in years gone by, Perez would have been out on his ear, but he's still there. Sainz to Williams. And then the big thing is, will Adrian Newey end up somewhere in this country, or is he going to go to Ferrari, or is he not going to go anywhere and sail the world in his brand new yacht he's having built? So let's kind of see what happens with that one. But I wanted to talk this week about a couple of very big auto part or spare part manufacturers that are in trouble. And the first big one is Recaro seats. Now, I have grown up with cars, normally the sporty cars that I lust after, having Recaro seats. They were a byword for cool sports seats. And in fact, I still lust after a set of Recaros for my JCW Roadster, because when you bought Roadster, they actually did a set of Recaro John Cooper Works seats that you could option when you bought the car. They were really expensive. And even now, they're, you know, if you can find them, they are like rocking horse shit. If you can find them, they're still, several thousands of pounds for a set of used seats. But I do think Recaro make beautiful looking seats. And unfortunately, they're in big trouble. They filed for bankruptcy. They were bought by private investors 4 years ago. I've been trying to find out a little bit more about what's happened to them, but it was such a surprise. Even their employees, they've got about 215 employees, they had no idea what was about to happen. So I think that's really, really sad. Now, I wonder whether or not the brand will maintain and they'll be bought by someone else and saved from their current financial predicament. It would be such a shame to see such an iconic seat manufacturer. Think of all the cool cars, especially in the hot hatch space, Focus RS and Golfs and all kinds of cool things that had Recaro seats. And then another German auto part manufacturer that's in big trouble is BBS Wheels. They're just about to do the same thing, although they've been on shaky ground for a while now. So I just think it's really sad to see that. But does that lead, are there any other auto parts or complete car manufacturers that are also going to end up in financial worries? Well, on Friday, I actually have done a video on just that. So Friday's video, I've basically just deep dived a little bit into the 2030 EV mandate, what that really says and what that means to car manufacturers right now. And although I'm not, I get my little crystal ball out and try and look into the future, I do have worries for the long-term future of the car industry or certain key players. And there we go. We've seen two fairly big names. I know they're not car manufacturers, but they're big names that we've all heard of going to the wall. Before I close, I'm off to the MotoGP at Silverstone this weekend with Michelin. We're recording a podcast there, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following us on the podcast. We've had some amazing pods recently. And also my car dream garage videos are clearly very, very popular. The latest episode dropped on Monday. I'm going to be dropping another one of those relatively soon. I've got lots of people on site today. We're plastering today. Very, very exciting out there. I'm finding it a little bit distracting actually, because I should be in here working and I keep having to go out to see how my garage is coming along. But yeah, so off to the MotoGP. I was at MotoGP in Silverstone last year, but only on practice day to film a podcast. I've never actually been to a race. I won't be doing a video on YouTube, but I will be covering it on Instagram stories. And the other thing, by the way, I wanted to mention is, I don't know if you are on TikTok or not, but I am now on, well, I've always been on TikTok, but I'm trying really hard to kind of grow my TikTok following. But you need to head on over. I made a bit of mistake with the naming of my TikTok page. Go to TikTok and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, for now, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I will see you on this Friday at 6 for a deep dive into the EU EV 2030 mandate. But it's a bit more than that. Basically, are we going to see the end of a big car brand, a big manufacturer? I'm not sure that they're all going to survive the next 2 to 3 years. Anyway, I'll see you on that film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.